This is how you can make your own decorative fonts that you can use for your own projects or products that you sell without having to worry about copyright or commercial use restrictions. And we can do all of this just using our iPads. In my last video, I showed you how to use the Fontself app for the iPad to make your own font using your own handwriting. And today I wanted to show you how to also make decorative letter forms to create into a font. We're going to create our letterform designs in Procreate, importing that into Fontself to create glyphs for a font, and then exporting your finished font so that you can actually use it in your designs. This style of font is perfect for coloring books or for t-shirts, product covers, packaging, stickers, and any project that you want to add some personality and charm and not have to use just a generic font. So let's go ahead and get started. Before we start designing any letters, let's just take a quick look around Fontself. I'm just going to be showing you the features of Fontself that we're going to be using for our project today, but if you would like an in-depth explanation of the features, go ahead and watch the video that I've linked on the screen, and I'll link it in the description box down below. Fontself works by letting you create the glyphs that are the individual characters in a font. So letters, numbers, and symbols. Once these glyphs are signed correctly, Fontself packages everything into a font file that you can export and use anywhere. From the home screen, choose any of the templates from the templates row. You can literally choose any of these templates. The templates here will have template characters, but if you want a blank template where there are no letter templates, you can choose from one of these last two. Their icons offer a suggestion on how you can distribute different parts of the letter, either equally or it looks like a larger center space, but when you open them up, they look identical, at least from what I can tell. Once you open a template, your font project autosaves and lives on the home screen, fully editable whenever you want to come back to it. This top panel is your previewer, so you can see how your decorative font looks when typed out. Below are the grids where you'll design each glyph, uppercase, lowercase, numbers, punctuation, and symbols. And to navigate up and down, you just drag with 2 fingers and move through them. Across the top, the gear icon opens up your project settings. The arrow allows you to undo and redo, and you can also undo with a 2-finger tap just like in Procreate. The arrow icon is your selector tool, and that lets you copy, move, or reuse shapes. It's incredibly helpful for decorative consistency. The brush tool is what is going to help you design the letters, and the eraser helps you clean things up, of course. Both have size and appearance controls. The wrench icon is where you adjust spacing, kerning, and font-wide settings later. The box with the arrow icon is, of course, your export tool, and this is how your font becomes a usable OTF file. So now that we understand the interface, let's go ahead and design our glyphs. For your first decorative font, I recommend choosing one clear style direction before you start. You can choose something that is playful and bubbly, or like whimsical and floral, chunky, bold, soft, rounded, anything that you'd like, and you can create it into a font. And if you're familiar with things like wingdings, these can just be pictures that you draw and assign to a letter, so that when you're typing on a keyboard, you type the letter A and it comes up with a picture that you drew for that. You have that much control over this. But regardless, you don't need to overthink it, but having a general vibe creates a very cohesive font. You can also decide if you even want to have both uppercase and lowercase letters. Like today, the one I'm gonna make is just gonna be uppercase letters. And I have a font that I use regularly that is just uppercase. Now, once we have our style direction chosen, we can go into Procreate and start illustrating our letter forms. Procreate is the space where we can actually sketch it out first and have a little bit more precision when designing it. So I'll take you through that, and then when we're done with that, we can bring it back into Fontself and use that to create our glyphs and assign them to each letter. Before I go into Procreate though, I'm gonna make a screenshot of one of the template cells with the guides on. So I'll zoom in as far as I can and just take a screenshot. Now I'll open up Procreate and create a new canvas. The size doesn't matter a whole lot, but I want to fit as much as I can on one canvas, so I'm going to choose screen size. I want to draw all of my letter forms in Procreate, but I don't want a bunch of images I have to insert into Fontself, so I'm going to duplicate the template across my canvas. Now all of the glyphs that I draw will be in 2 or 3 images at most that I have to import into Fontself, depending on how many glyphs I choose to make. Now it's time to illustrate my letters. Doing this part in Procreate is great because you can sketch them out, and you can't really sketch in Fontself. Depending on the style of font you want to make, you can first make a skeleton of the letter to act as a guide, and this will help with consistency. To do that, search for the flat brush in your brush library. It's in the classic brushes. So I'm just going to make a standard letter A to start off, and I'm just going to move it slightly since I want to make a font style with a slight 3D effect. This is the trick to making sure that your illustrated letter forms will have a similar enough width, since we're going to be using that flat brush to create a skeleton for all of our letters, and then we're going to sketch on top of that. This is going to help it look more professional. Now I can sketch out my letter idea, keeping in mind that I have to trace this in Fontself, so I'm not going to make it too complicated. Now I'll just continue to draw all of my letters until I have a full alphabet. Once they're all finished, I'm going to export them as a PNG, and I'm not going to worry about hiding anything because it doesn't really matter. I can just save this as is and then import it into Fontself. So now that we have designed each of our letter forms, we are ready to build our font. At this point, we're not designing our letters anymore. We're in font building mode. And what that means is that we're going to bring in our Procreate alphabet as a guide and trace each of them in the letter section. So step one, we're going to start a new font project in Fontself. So back in Fontself, I'll create a new font project from a template, and don't overthink the template. We can customize the character set and guides either way. Then step two, import your Procreate sheet as a tracing guide. Tap the image icon and import the alphabet image that you exported from Procreate. You'll see it show up underneath the grid. Now I'm going to resize it with the pinch gestures, move it so the letters line up with the guides, and then lower the opacity so it's faint in the background, but just do whatever's comfortable for you. The goal is to get, for example, your Procreate A sitting nicely in the A glyph cell so that you can trace it cleanly. Once it's lined up, I'm going to pin the image in place so I don't accidentally move it while I'm working. And then step three is trace and assign your letters. First, I want to adjust my brush so that it creates the look that I want. So I'll open the brush settings, keep it on brush, but reduce the size. Then change the roundness to 100% and the angle 90 degrees. And then I'll turn streamline all the way up. And now I can start drawing. I'm going to tap in the A cell and grab the brush tool and trace the decorative A from my Procreate sheet. Just a couple quick tips while you trace. You don't have to trace it perfectly. You can clean it up as you go. Make sure you keep your stroke thickness and style consistent so the font feels cohesive. Stay generally within the guidelines so that your font types evenly. Once the A is done, I'll swipe to the next glyph cell, so B, and then repeat, tracing directly from the Procreate illustration. I'm going to be moving and resizing the image as I go, and we just keep going one glyph at a time. Step four, add numbers and basic punctuation. Once letters are done, you can export right away. And while we did not make lowercase letters, I do recommend adding at least 0 through 9, period, comma, question mark, exclamation mark, parentheses, or quotes if you use them. Because the moment you start using your font in real projects, you'll immediately wish you had the punctuation. If you're typing and you are using this font, but you didn't assign a glyph to that specific character, it's going to go to the default font of the program that you're using, and so it's going to look a little funny. And you don't have to do every symbol today. Fonts can grow over time, and you can always come back and add more glyphs later. And then step 5, check your preview as you go. Up in the preview window, Fontself will start showing your font as soon as you've drawn a few characters. And this is my favorite way to catch issues early, like one letter accidentally taller than the rest or spacing looks awkward. If something seems off, you can fix it as you go or make corrections when you're done, whichever way feels comfortable with your workflow. Once your glyphs are complete, you can start testing spacing and kerning. This step is also totally optional, but if you want your font to feel more polished and professional, this is where it happens. Tap on the wrench icon and adjust overall spacing and kerning between specific letter pairs. On the kerning tab, you can use your Apple Pencil and make very fine spacing adjustments, but if everything looks cool, you don't even have to do anything. And next comes naming your font. Before exporting, you gotta give your font a name so that you can find it once it has been exported and imported into a new program. So tap on the wrench icon, go to font settings and info. Choose an original, unique unique name, something that you'll recognize later. You can also add metadata like creator name, copyright info, and license type. If you plan on selling or sharing this font, this step is important, and think of this as your font's ID card. So once you're happy with its appearance and you've assigned it a name, you are ready to export your font. Fontself packages everything into an OTF file that you can install and use across apps. At this point, your font stops being a project and starts being a real font that can be used anywhere. You can export it directly into Procreate, install it on your iPad, or even generate showcase images for it for selling the font. So now that you know how to design and make your own fonts, you can use them freely in so many different projects. I love using them in my coloring books, as well as like product covers and listings for things that I make on Etsy. And you can use them on t-shirts. You can make them for digital products or physical products. This is great for making merch or branding, your own logo. The limit does not exist. Anything that you have wanted to use a font on, but you're told you have commercial restrictions on it, you don't have to worry about that anymore. You can use your font freely, and that's the best part of this. And now, if you're curious on how to use your own handwriting to make a custom font, go ahead and click into this video, and I'll show you exactly what to do. It's super easy and it's super fun.